So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the things you want to keep in mind when you're about to get in shape. Because when you're looking online and you're watching videos, you're checking social media, you're talking to people, and you might be told that, oh, it's easy, nothing to worry about. You just do this, and this, and you'll get in shape, no problem. You're being lied to. So if you want to know the truth about getting in shape, check out this video. Oh, that's legit. Ladies and gentlemen, you hear that? Hi, my name is Jason Philippe. I'm a board-certified family medicine physician. I'm a former Division I basketball player. I'm a former personal trainer. And in this video, I'm going to reveal the truth about getting into shape. So why am I making this video? You know, honestly, like I mentioned before, I'm a board-certified family medicine physician, former Division I basketball player, and former personal trainer. And even I've fallen off the wagon and have gotten out of shape, gotten back in shape, and have, done the cycle over the years. I want to give you the honest truth about what it takes to get in shape. And through this video and also through this channel, we're definitely going to demystify some of the things as it relates to getting in shape overall. So stay tuned and check it out. So first off, as it relates to getting into shape, let me just get this out of the way. It is not easy. Don't plan on it being easy, because it's not. Even though it's not easy, that doesn't mean it's not worth it, because I can tell you it's worth it. You're going to have to put in the work. If you don't want to put in the work, I don't know what to tell you. But as it relates to getting into shape, like I said, it's not easy. When you're younger, teenage years, even earlier adolescent, late teens, if you've been in shape, you played high school athletics, even college athletics, your metabolism is faster, you have that youthful energy that you can sort of just go out there and run your battery and not really feel drained afterwards. But as you get older, you get into the workforce, you're working a 9 to 5, 8 to 5, you're working 8, 10, 12, 14-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts, 24-hour shifts, etc. Back to back to back. You have to work day to day, paycheck to paycheck, deal with the stresses at home, stress at the work. It's just not easy. You get home, you're tired. You're both physically tired, you're mentally tired, you just have no energy whatsoever. You want convenience, you just want food in your face, you just want to be able to come home from work, relax, eat an easy meal, only to get up and have to repeat that process. So finding the energy is not easy, and that's what makes it, at least that's part of the reason as to what makes it more difficult to get into shape the older you get, especially when you're working a busy or hectic schedule for whatever reason. But even though it's difficult, if you work on improving 1% every time on a daily basis, through time and consistency, you will start to see some improvements overall. And you really don't want to fall into the trap of thinking that you'll lose the weight in a short amount of time, because first of all, the weight didn't grow on you overnight. Virtually impossible. So you have to remind yourself that you didn't gain the weight overnight, and you're not going to lose the weight or get into better shape overnight either. It is progressive, it is continuous, it's a lifelong journey, and that's really the essence of when they say it's a lifestyle. It really is. Good diet, consistent quality exercise. 1 month from now, 2 months from now, even a year from now, you will notice a significant change in your overall health and well-being. So like I said, it's not easy. Don't plan on it being easy. But one of the phrases that I like to say oftentimes overall is, nothing in life worth having comes easy, and nothing easy in life should be taken for granted. So next point I want to highlight about getting into shape is that diet is key. You cannot and will not outrun, outlift, outwork out a bad diet. Unless you are an Olympic athlete, if you are a professional athlete who notoriously eats poorly but burns so many calories and is in phenomenal shape, that's not you. That's not me. That's not most of us. We're not focused on the fringes. We're working on the majority of people that get further out of shape, they gain weight, they go to the doctor, and they may need to be put on medications, etc. So diet is key. It is by far the most important aspect you want to consider when you're trying to get into shape, period. And I'll say it again, you cannot outlift, outrun, or outwork out a bad diet. If your diet is not good, or rather it's not healthy, you will not maximize your health and well-being in the long run. And as you get older, you eat poorly, you try to work out, you're going to feel horrible. Trust me. You really want to make sure your diet is honed in as best as you can, even before you step foot into the gym. And conversely, on the opposite side of that, rest and recovery is also very important. I would probably put that within the top 3. You know, when I was younger and I was a personal trainer, I was in the gym 6 or 7 days a week before I really learned the optimal time frame of working out through science and even just through personal experience. I thought that, you know, working certain exercises 3, 4, 5 times a week was going to get me the results I needed. But I was sort of naive in the sense that I was young. So then recovery was a lot shorter. But I found out that working my muscles optimally to then sort of optimize my rest and recovery made a huge difference. So I wasn't working the same muscles back to back. I was having some time in between, and I was making sure that I was getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Because during that time, it's very important for your body to recover. And it brings you back to my earlier point about diet being important. If your diet is not clean, or rather if it's not, you know, as good as it can be, you're not really giving your body the appropriate building blocks for it to build upon the things you worked out that day or the day before, etc. So it's very important that you get quality rest and recovery. And recovery comes in many different ways. It's very easy to think that it might be sleep, which is uniquely important. Like I mentioned, 7 to 8 hours is very, very important. But recovery can be as simple as being consistent with stretching. Well, I'd say that's something that people don't really emphasize nearly as much as it should be, especially as you get older. In my experience, you know, I'll reference a lot of my time as a personal trainer, but when I was younger and I was in the gym, I was helping clients out, and I would see some of the older guys in the gym putting on plate after plate after plate after plate, whether it be on the bench or for the squats. They'd have to wrap their knees, their elbows, their wrists 3 or 4 times before they even unrack the weight just to lift it. I would say every single one of them advised me to focus on making sure that I'm stretching consistently through the long term, because that makes a world of a difference as you get older. Let's face it, you want to get in shape. If you really don't have your mental health in check, it's going to be extremely tough. You work a long job, you work a job you're not satisfied in, but you need it because you have to pay your bills, etc. You get home, you're tired. If you have a family, you have to take care of your family. If you don't have a family, you have to, you know, think about what you're going to do for the next day. You know, you're trying to work on getting good sleep, but you can't even get good sleep because you're too worried about your job, etc. You paycheck to paycheck, bills are too high, expenses are too high. It is going to be hard for you to go from that frame of mind to the frame of mind of working out. And so that brings me to my next point. Addressing your mental health is crucial in terms of getting in shape. Getting into shape does not only mean physically. It is both physical and mental. And I really don't care what anyone on the internet tells you. Your mental health is very important, period. Everyone deals with stress and negativity differently. And in my experience, both clinically as well as just anecdotally, it's very easy to fall into maladaptive behaviors when you're dealing with stress and negative situations, etc., such as overeating. You've heard about comfort food, drinking, alcohol specifically, anger outbursts, you know, emotional dysregulation or emotional lability, those sort of things where you're so stressed out that you just want to scream, right? You can't, you're very short-tempered, etc. You understand what I'm getting at. Long story short, you need to make sure that you are addressing your stress, figuring out positive ways to divert that energy, and working out can definitely be one of them. Whether it be spending some time outdoors, if the weather permits, jumping rope, taking up a boxing class, going for a run, a bike ride, rollerblading, playing sports, whether it be pickleball, which is very popular, basketball, tennis, etc. Talking to your friends, talking to a healthcare provider, considering therapy, whatever. But you really do need to make that a prime important focus. And hopefully, in time, you can shift that energy into your workout so that necessarily working out becomes an important part of your routine, because working out allows you to relieve that stress. Yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi is a big one that I tell my patients to do. Overall, mindfulness meditation is very good to do as well. You definitely want to address your stress, period. Now, one thing I want to stress is that everyone is different. What do I mean by that? You've heard the phrase, one size fits all. But what you really need to understand is, simplistically speaking, yes, you want to have a good diet as well as quality exercise. So in a way, that is the one size for everybody. But if you spend any time on the internet, you know that there are more than a dozen or even 100 different approaches to doing both of those. So when we talk about like the umbrella of fitness, getting into shape, etc., I can attack it from several different vantage points. If you want to talk about nutrition, I can talk about time-restricted eating or intermittent fasting. I can talk about different diet plans, whether it be plant-based, Mediterranean versus Ornish versus Atkins, etc. Then you want to talk about macro counting, etc. And then that doesn't even bring into account working out, whether it be cardio, strength training, or it be HIIT exercises, stretching, etc. There's just a lot of different ways to approach it. And you want to keep it simple initially, and then as you get better, improve. You want to sort of spice things up. You want variety. You then can add layers and add layers. Believe it or not, even the evidence shows that having a support system can and will make you more successful in the long run. So if you've got a buddy, you've got a family member, a friend, cousin, etc., who has fitness goals like you, definitely form a community, form a tandem, form a group, form an accountability system. That's why, folks are very successful with Weight Watchers. And when I talk to patients about Weight Watchers and or other programs that are similar, they all point to the fact that the accountability is there, and then also the group aspect is there, the community aspect. And when you have a community of support, you join a group of like-minded individuals, it's less challenging to achieve the success because you have motivation. You see folks and then you hear their stories, you hear their challenges, and then you're inspired. And that motivates you, or that makes you feel inspired to overcome your specific challenges. And or maybe you might find that you use the community or your accountability partner to discuss your challenges, and then that person or people can give you solutions or potential answers to overcome your challenges in a way that you might not have thought about it yourself through your own specific lens. So as cheesy as this is, teamwork does make the dream work. So you have the average working adult. They don't want to have time to sort of go through nutrition, kinesiology, exercise science, discussing the metabolic window, doing the math to figure out what macros they have to do. They would just rather tell you what they want, and you tell them this is what they need to do. A lot of people operate that way, and that's okay. I understand it. I was a personal trainer at one point in time. Motivation is overrated, period. Discipline is key. The reality is that motivation can help you feel like you want to get started, but discipline is what's needed to see you through the finish line. Discipline is the only way. Discipline is really the difference between doing what's easy versus what's not easy. Discipline is what gets you out of your rut. Discipline is what wakes you up at whatever time in the morning that you decide to get up in the morning. If it's to get up in the morning and work out, if it's to get up in the morning to get you through your day, etc. Discipline is what keeps you up after you come home from work, to make sure you spend extra time to do just a little bit for yourself or for your family. Discipline is really what's important. And last but not least, as it relates to getting in shape, it doesn't have to be painful. It really doesn't have to be, I promise. Now, to be fair, it might actually be painful in specific ways like muscle soreness and getting up early, that sort of thing. But it doesn't have to be painful. You don't have to just do exercises that you hate. You don't have to go to the gym, especially if you hate the gym for whatever reason, or you don't feel welcome at the gym, or you feel intimidated at the gym because you don't necessarily know what you're doing. It doesn't have to be painful. There are definitely certain things that you can do that can ease the challenge of getting back into shape. Whether it be for cardio, you don't necessarily have to go outside jogging. You can potentially jump rope, provided your knees allow you to. You can do Zumba, whether it be at a class or maybe even here on YouTube. I'm sure there's probably a whole bunch of Zumba channels or Zumba videos that you can do. You can, if you have the money for it, you can take dancing lessons. If you have a bike ride, there are definitely things you can do across the spectrum in terms of least expensive to most expensive that can put some variety in your cardio routine. As far as strength training, you don't necessarily have to lift weights. You can focus on your core, your body weight, the calisthenics exercises like push-ups, squats, lunges. You go to your nearest park. Sometimes you can find bars that do dips, pull-ups. I'm sure those still exist now. I know when I was a kid, they were at the parks when I grew up in New York, but things are different now. People aren't necessarily outside as much doing those things anymore. But even still, it doesn't have to be painful. There are enough types of activities that exists that you can find at least something that you can enjoy to do that can help you get in better shape. So like I said, the truth about getting into shape is that it's not easy. The reality is you're going to come across challenges, you're going to fail, you're going to succeed, and you're going to fail again. And that's okay. Just know that it's not easy. It takes time, consistency, and at least good, if not your best effort every time for you to see progressive improvement and changes as time goes on. And remember, be patient with yourself. As long as you're improving even just 1% every day or every time you're working out and being consistent over time, you will notice a change. Whether it be a week from now, a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, etc. Aim for consistency and really aim for 1% improvement at the bare minimum. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And feel free to drop a comment below and talk about things that you found that you wish you knew before you tried to get in shape.